मैं ना stalking mode में चली जाती हूँ. I have a guest coming in. I even stalk Oreo.
What are you saying? Oreo is the Chugh family का model है. That was my first official paycheck when I made a website through Wix. I sold for 30,000 bucks and I was like, oh
What?
wow. At my time it was called Bookit. Now they've changed the name and all. Just one random day I get this call ki, can we buy the app only? I sold it off for 3.2 CR.
एक सेकंड मेरे को पार्क करनी है गाड़ी. Hi guys, welcome back to the Divisha. You're on episode number 47. आज की गेस्ट से मैं बहुत ज़्यादा recently मिली थी on an experiential photo shoot studio. The Grey Space, जिसके बारे में हमने वृद्धि के पॉडकास्ट में भी बात की थी. She is the founder and the conceptual photographer there. Along with that, आज के हमारे गेस्ट वो भी थे and he mentioned that he worked on the entire concept of it. So, which got me really hooked. और मैंने उनसे पूछा आप और क्या क्या करते हो. Comes out he is the son of the founder of Sizzling Scissors and he's working on multiple projects. So काफ़ी लोग मुझसे पूछते हैं कि आप अपने guests कैसे choose करते हो. It's the amount of things that you're doing. It's what on your plate. How productive is it? How conceptual it is? How creative it is? That is how I actually decide my guests. And he went on about his work, about his venture capitalist business. तो काफ़ी सारे startups who are looking for funding. I'll try to get a lot of hacks that will come handy to you if you're looking for investment for your startup. और भी काफ़ी सारी बातें होंगी. He has been a part of a lot of startups which in the end were valuated and sold off. तो valuation कैसे होती है एक startup की and a lot of different things. Along with that, अगर आप एक Salon industry से हो, so I think it is the best podcast for you. So stay tuned. I'm right here to pick him up and I'll see you in the end. Bye bye. Hello, so sorry. I spilled a little. मतलब it leaked my water bottle. थोड़ा सा you might be. But I kept like a towel. If you need something else, let me know.
नहीं, this is
Fine.
perfect.
Great. What's up?
Nothing here. This holiday season, nobody is working.
I think it's in the season only that I was like, bhai, relax करो अब.
And we're like weekday चल रहा है, फिर भी we're going out. I don't know for what reason. There's no reason behind it, but ठीक है.
ठीक है. My friends were also here and we're like Monday evening I'm like going out and I'm like I have work, but they're like okay अब तो chill करो.
अब तो chill करो.
अब कुछ नहीं कर सकते.
अब 31st के बाद काम करना.
31st के बाद. So I got late only because I was packing. So I'm leaving for Mumbai in the evening. Like, I have a flight to catch at 3. So I'm like, okay, abhi kar lo. Oh God. Everyone have their weekend plan sorted. What are you doing?
Yeah,
31st?
no clue.
No clue?
There's so many things to do that you get confused after a while कि करना क्या है.
What all is on your list?
What all is on my list? I can throw like a house party of sorts जहाँ पे we're calling like 10-15 people. That is something that plan got inculcated yesterday रात को.
All your friends who are watching will catch hold of you अगर नहीं दी तो. नहीं, I'm throwing it. But जो नहीं आ रहा है, I'm sorry, मैंने invite नहीं करा है. Oh shit. Okay.
बाकी a few places around they have called and पता नहीं, there are some secret parties also going on. No clue. I am usually the guy जो New Year's पे अपने pajamas में होगा, घर पे chill कर रहा होगा. That's it. Last 2 years, 3 years, I think I've done that.
How long have you been in Jaipur?
Like I shifted 2020 actually starting.
अच्छा, okay.
COVID.
Usually.
But COVID से just पहले I didn't know COVID was coming up. I was just back कि हाँ यार चलो ठीक है, let's join the family business. Let's see what is going on because my father was very on the zone कि हाँ यार, you know, we have a life that you gotta join. Your Bombay days are done. Your startup, like you're selling it off, so just come back.
Okay. Okay.
Like come back
Your
for a
father
bit.
is so dapper, yeah. Like, looks really fine.
He's the chillest guy ever. So I don't drink, okay? Like I quit drinking a while back.
Okay.
But my father's that guy. He'll be like, "Yaar, I am sitting. You gotta have a drink with me." And I'm like, "No, yeah." Then he gets like he gives me that emotional blackmail scene. Ki, "Hi, yaar, I am sitting. You're not drinking with me and whatnot."
Very cool. मतलब मैंने I saw his profile. मैं ना stalking mode में चली जाती हूँ. I have a guest coming in तो मैं सब stalk कर लेती. I even stalk Oreo.
What are you saying?
It's the truth.
Oreo is the I would say Chugh family का model है. वो हम में से कोई भी अपने Instagram पे active नहीं है. Like we are there, obviously we are active, but then Oreo is that guy जिसकी सबसे ज़्यादा post होगी. On my profile as well, I think people like I think yesterday मेरे को कोई कह रहा था कि your profile is not your profile. ठीक है, 2-4 बार तेरी शक्ल दिख जाती है, but it's mostly Oreo that's around. Your stories are about Oreo. Oreo आज ये कर रहा है, आज यहाँ है, आज Oreo modeling कर रहा है.
That's the fun part, yaar, of having a pet.
It is so much fun, and the best part was we got Oreo right before COVID started. Okay. So it was like I came back and I was like, I need a partner. I don't have a sibling, and I'm not really used to Jaipur in a way. So I need someone to chill around with you. I gotta get a dog. And I was in Delhi at some kennel, and I was like, I saw this guy, and I was like, this is instant. Instantly, I'm gonna pick him up. I didn't even ask my parents. I was like, मैं बस surprise लेके आ रहा हूँ. I'm driving down with something. And for some reason, my mother's like, okay, he's getting me something. Oh, because he's back for good. Like, he's back to Jaipur. He's probably getting me coming back gift or something like a reunion type gift. And I'm like, Mop, that's my dog. And my mom is like, it has transitioned so much right now. Pehle, my mother had never touched a dog in her life. And for the first 3 months, उन्होंने ओरियो को भी टच नहीं किया कि नहीं सोफे पे नहीं बैठेगा, नहीं यहाँ नहीं होना चाहिए, ये नहीं होना चाहिए. If he is doing something, you are cleaning him up. Caretakers भी नहीं करेंगे. It is your headache. But now it's like गोदी में बिठा के मैं उसको खाना खिलाऊंगी. You don't care about him. You don't do this. उसको बाहर नहीं घूमी नहीं लेके जाता है. And I don't know. Now it's a different scenario altogether.
Oh man. But it's actually very difficult and very smart plan कि अगर तुम बाहर से आते हो. And I also studied in Mumbai for like 3-4 years. तो मैं भी जब वापस आई थी तो it's a shocker for you यार कि भाई एकदम से
अचानक से हाँ.
तो नहीं समझ.
See, I feel Jaipur, that's a common stigma that we have around Jaipur, that it's slow. मेरा thought process थोड़ा different है on this end, because I would say Jaipur isn't slow. You just have to figure out your thing. Jaipur has a work culture. Jaipur has an entrepreneurship culture, in fact. 100%. तो क्या होता है, once you get into that zone ना, that you're working and you have divided your time in a way कि हाँ यार चलो I'm keeping my evenings for my people, which is a very common thing कि यार यहाँ पे इतनी सारे cafes है, इतने सारे coffee shops हैं, we sit in the evening somewhere.
But I think यहाँ पे you can choose also. You get that choice कि हाँ मतलब this time is for chilling. Probably in Bombay you're like,
It's always a rush यार, भागते रहो. अरे यार अभी मेरी लोकल मिस हो गई.
अलग ही issues है वहाँ के यार.
बहुत, but I would say that was a different time and I enjoyed it a lot, even if it was a hassle. So I used to live alone in Bombay. Okay. And
where were you studying?
I was in Lala Lajpat Rai College of Commerce. Okay. और वहाँ BMS पढ़ रहा था. Okay. I have been a marketing student since forever. And I think that was my thing. हम लोग को सबको पता था. Although I was good in maths and all and whatnot. So it's an interesting story. I studied in an IB school. And I was supposed to go outside. मेरा admission भी हो गया बाहर. And I'm like, यार, now is the time that I go outside and see what happens. I was just on the verge of leaving. Like I think like 5 days to the flight. And I'm talking. So this college that I got admitted in, they were like, you can talk to the older like alumni and older students and jo bhi third years and whatnot to figure out how the experience is so that you can gear up for the college. I started talking to this guy and we become pretty chill, and I'm like, oh, like kaisa hai culture, what's the thing there and whatnot. And he's like, that like everything's good, you have a chill life over here, but it's a chill life. Understand this, I've known you for a while because we had been talking for a while. Starting, say, before admission as well, they make you talk to some people.
Yeah.
And this guy's like, see, you're a person who likes to work. You've been working since you were 14. This is not a place for you. And I'm like, it's legit. I have 5 days to leave. I've packed up half my stuff. And what do I do now? And to the core, I was like, how do I tell my parents ki yaar, I'm not going now, it's done.
Yeah.
So the first thing I do is I'm like, I'll join a little late. अपने parents को ये बोला, and I'll take a trip to Bombay just to chill out.
Okay.
उन्हें ये नहीं पता कि मैं वहाँ admission अपना कराने जा रहा हूँ. Because I like, I need to work.
Yeah.
I can't stop working. I think it's in our blood also. My father, in fact, started working when he was 17. My mother started working when she was 17. So it's like a hereditary thing, and I think they knew because उन्होंने कभी मेरे को education wise कभी कुछ नहीं बोला कि you need to be this graduate.
What were you doing at 14?
What was I think my first paycheck was around when I was turning 15, like around my birthday, and the paycheck was उस time पे ना websites का culture नहीं था. Like a lot of people didn't know websites. So one of my aunt, so like I'm opening up a boutique and whatnot, and I need to set up my Google business account, and I need to make a website and all. अब हमारी generation ऐसी है, like they know their way around internet, but the older generation doesn't. And it's natural, it's fine. It's like, ठीक है यार, मैंने मजे में कह दिया, I'm gonna charge for it. You gotta give me some kharchi is what I said. She's like, okay, fine, I'll give you the kharchi. And that was my first official paycheck when I made a website through Wix. And
Really?
Wix से बना के मैंने I sold it like all the Google and all everything map settle करके I sold for $30,000 and I was like, oh
What?
wow.
Do you know that people are doing it in 2023 and still
Don't
charging?
Don't tell me. Oh God.
There are so many agencies जो gap आपने बोला है ना वो अभी उसी ऐप में है. They're not evolved from there.
So I thought I was just having fun around. मेरे को नहीं पता था कि I can charge this much. I just said 30. She gave me 30. Fine. I was very happy with it. And then eventually I was like, okay, this is a good business deal. I think probably I can. अब canteen में जाके I need to eat something. Come on, I need some $2,000 to give party every day. It became a culture.
Which school were you in?
I was in SBSIS. At that time, we used to call it SBSIS. And तो वहाँ पे क्या है? You can say I was a very fresh person. The reason that was because I transformed completely. I changed my name. I used to wear spectacles. I changed up to lenses at that time. Up to I got my LASIK done. And I was 110 kgs. I dropped down to 50 kgs.
Oh,
within like 6 months or 7 months, I went on a hardcore keto. Okay. And अचानक से
which year was this?
This was I think 2014-15 की बात होगी.
अच्छा, okay.
And summer break के just बाद people didn't actually recognize me because अचानक से नाम change हुआ person जिसके चश्मे नहीं है ये नहीं. This is definitely a different person with the same surname. And I was like, ठीक है, I'm gonna treat it like a fresh kid. Like although a few people knew कि this is the same guy, but I'm gonna meet new people. I have that confidence now, so I'm gonna meet new people and I'm gonna give them parties at the canteen every day. And make friends like that. अब वो parties का पैसा कहाँ से आएगा? I'll sell Wix की websites.
Oh, okay.
And I did that for quite a lot of time actually. I think मैंने 2.5-3 साल यही करा. And it was so much fun. And I, honestly speaking, I had made a good chunk because eventually I had gotten the hang of it. So I used to consult people कि आप ऐसा करो, ऐसा करो, ऐसा करो, ऐसा करो. That's the marketing way. That's how you make it visually appealing and whatnot. And करते it just became a thing.
Wow.
And I think at 17 when I was graduating school, I was like, no, this was just a part-time thing. And I made it a routine to work every day. And now I need to get into like the big leagues. And that's when I was like, okay, let's see how, like I was getting into the party culture a lot. I was seeing that Bombay mein us time pe parties were going insane.
Yeah.
And luckily I had a friend of mine who was like, do you want to host parties? Fair. Now that was a very common thing in Bombay, okay? A lot of promoters used to do it, but I had a different way to it. I went to college, I think my second week or something, and I was like, yeah, I am throwing this party, and you know, I'll like I made up a story ki haan yaar, this is my coming to Mumbai party and whatnot, and made up a story around it. And karte I didn't expect it. Bombay colleges are filled up with people, okay, and I just went out and सबको बोल रहा हूँ, every class I'm announcing and whatnot. Because, and I could make the announcement because I had just joined the हमारा जो college का वो होता था ना, not the CR,
Placement cell.
Placement cell तो नहीं, I was the worst person to be in the placement cell, to be honest. But we had a thing called Tsunami, which was like हमारे students का ही proper event and all, where there were fashion shows and whatnot, and they made me a part of it for some reason. And because I was okay with communicating, and a lot of people didn't communicate for some reason at that time, at least in my college. So I went and made those announcements कि चलो ठीक है, I am a part of this event, I am in the organizing committee, but now I am also throwing a party for you guys.
Yeah.
I didn't expect it. 150 people showed up.
Oh wow! This was at your place?
This
or
was
some other place?
No, this was at my place. And I was like, how can I actually monetize it? Because ये तो मस्ती में कर रहा है.
Yeah.
So I started throwing after parties. Ki club shuts at 1:30. Come down to my place. I was living alone. Come down to my place. It's BYOB. Bring your own drink. And I paid up one bouncer from the club that I met कि आप बाहर संभालना, अंदर I'll handle, and charge 4,000 per person. I don't know, it was a fluke. It was a complete fluke because I was still used to the website wala thing कि यार कुछ ना कुछ तो कर ही लूँगा. And somehow people are getting filled up, and I'm making my monthly rent in like a few hours. I'm like, this has to be a thing. And I made it a regular thing, okay? I was going to college in the morning, evenings I'm doing this. I made it a complete thing कि हाँ यार, now this is something I have to do because मेरा month का rent मैं एक दिन में निकाल सकता हूँ. And Bombay rents are insane, okay? Yeah. And living alone with like at
where were you staying?
Bandstand.
Oh man.
Bandstand mein had a 2 BHK, not even a 1 BHK. And I think my monthly rent was 1.5 or something. And I was like, yeah, I need to make this money. And that's how I did it.
Yeah.
It was and people, that's when I realized the importance of, I would say, service industry. That's I call it the exclusivity psychology is what I call it. Exclusivity psychology. Now, why I'm calling it the exclusivity psychology is, let's say, see, people usually work as a crowd. Akela person in the service industry doesn't work out.
Yeah.
Now, what happens is, if you showcase ki, you know, I have some good people coming down to my place, people will join. And even if they don't know the person, but they're very influenced by that whole scenario, like the whole person, they'll, you know, do everything to come.
Pay a little extra, even if it comes to,
And the fun part was the influencer market was just growing at that time.
Yeah.
And a few of the influencers got in touch and they used to come down. So people who were following them were like, I want to come in. 4,000 chodo, I'll pay 40. Come on. And people are like that in Bombay. Like, okay, fine, come in. I don't mind. Just, you know, come down. And किसी को मेरा number मिल रहा है, somebody sharing my numbers and whatnot. And the best part was, I was living beside Mannat. Okay, there was a building beside Mannat. And what I used to announce was exact address to कैसे announce करूँ मैं club में. So I used to announce after party at Mannat. There were people who went down to Mannat and started knocking Mannat. After party कहाँ है? And I got in trouble. I was like, oh God, मेरे को नहीं बजना इसमें. But then I placed another person downstairs कि मन्नत पे जो आए उसको साइड में भेजना. And I set up all the people around, neighbors को I used to gift things कि नहीं यार कुछ भी मत बोलना, like I am there for you and what not, but don't do things.
Sweet. Look at them. This is my favorite part when it comes to the show. It's something that I'm used to by now.
And I think later on I actually made it into a company where I launched it as like an app.
Yeah.
Because exclusivity wali cheese, I still used to find it at a lot of places, but how do you beat it? So I came up with a concept where a lot of people wanted to get on the VIP tables in the club,
Right.
but couldn't because of monetary reasons mainly. And the idea was, who do they share it with? Is there like a thing? What if they don't have people to share with? So is there like a thing where they can meet people, socialize, and share the cost? So I came up with an app. I had a friend develop it for me. I had to treat him a lot for it, but yeah. And the app was, you can select an option that I'm ready to Dutch this much amount.
Okay. For a party.
For a party. And what started happening was same amount जो भी type in करता था, because there were options basically. You can't type it. It was like 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 ऐसे options थे.
Okay.
Whoever clicked, let's say 5,000 वाले option, 5,000 वाले 10 और लोग will match together and land up on the same table.
Oh.
So they were socializing. They were still on the VIP end, and they had so much fun.
Right.
And it just became a thing. Somehow it picked up. I think most of it was word of mouth, because I wasn't really able to market it out, at least to my capacity, because I was still a college student, and at that time I was 18. So I just thought ki I'll let it go, let it happen, and then it just picked up.
What was the name of this app that you gave?
I can't really name it. I sold it off and I can't really name it.
Okay.
But I used to call it Book It. At my time it was called Book It. Now they've changed the name and all.
Okay.
And it went bonkers over the whole thing. And like just one random day, I get this call ki, "Hi, yaar, I like this thing you're doing. Can we buy it off you?" Like, buy it off you, matlab, do you want to buy some tickets or something? Like, no, I want to buy the app only. And like,
कितना खर्चा आया था ऐप बनाने में?
I think it was it was my 2 months का rent is how I rationalize. उस टाइम पे काउंट ही ऐसे करता था, मेरे 2 महीने का रेंट लग रहा है यहाँ पे, मेरे 3 महीने का रेंट लग रहा है यहाँ पे. I used to count it like that. Because at that point of time, I think my major खर्चा was rent.
Yeah.
And my 2 months rent was what it took.
2.2.
हाँ, approx. And I sold it off for $500,000 in USD.
Excuse me.
Yes.
इसको जरा lakhs में बताओ, मतलब मैं millions.
I think it was 3.2 CR or something. I sold it off for 3.2 CR.
एक सेकंड, मेरे को पार्क करनी है गाड़ी. What is this? Oh man.
And to my luck, मुझे नहीं पता था कि 4 महीने बाद कोविड आना है.
Okay.
And
क्योंकि this would have been a bigger thing at that time, या फिर
I think COVID might got diluted. The person who purchased it, I think मेरे को मन गालियाँ निकालता होगा.
Oh, अच्छा.
Because COVID में no clubs or function. What would you do with the app? And he was in the zone to scale it up, so it spent a lot of money on it.
Okay.
He used to talk to me कि हाँ यार ऐसा है, I'm thinking this, I'm thinking that, because we became friends here.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, sounds good. Then he's like, COVID आ गया, what do I do?
Yeah.
I can't really help out with a situation like this. I don't know what to do either. I was 19 when I sold you off, ना मैं बता देता आपको.
At that time you came back.
And at that time I came back. And I think that was it for me. I was like, okay, I'm done with the party situation. I'm done with everything. Now it's time to go on like a very legacy kind of a thing. What can I build now that, you know, and make a legacy out of it? And by legacy, I don't mean generational wealth or whatnot. No, God. By legacy, I mean a name that sustains. A thing that, you know, even when I'm gone, lasts for ages. And to my I think luck would be the right word, that my parents were already in some industry that was still untapped to an extent, especially on the salons end. So Sizzlin was there, and Sizzlin was immediately passed down to me. Parents, my father was busy in Africa, and my mother was still still happens to be a part of Sizzlin. But she's like, yeah, I think I'm done with the floor management. What can I do to change the whole scenario? And since I'd seen like how the startup culture worked, how the corporates worked, it's like, why can't a salon be a corporate after all? And I came down to a process where I started पूरा उसको rationalize करके.
You mentioned one tech that you already use, the color.
So it's called the virtual stylist. I call it the Sizzlin virtual stylist.
Okay.
It's developed by, it's basically developed by us, but L'Oreal was a part of it.
Okay.
So what it does is, you can see how your hair color will look before it happens.
Okay.
You just stand in front of a screen and you can basically choose the shade from the L'Oreal swatch book. So that's why L'Oreal came in, these are the colors that we offer, and you select the color and you can see how it looks on you.
Yeah.
And to my knowledge, it's the first out there, throughout the world now. And since we've expanded to Africa, so Sizzlin is in Africa now. It's there as well, and it's actually something that is gimmicky, I won't lie about it, but it does work. Because I think the first person who tried it out was my mother. I said, if my hair gets messed up, you're killed, you're done. And I'm like, no, let me do it. I worked a lot on it. It took me approximately 9 months to work on it. And it worked out pretty fine. I think the accuracy is about 85%, which is a very decent accuracy.
Yeah. Otherwise, I think people would have only tried it in filters.
Exactly. That's where the idea popped up from. Because just go through Snapchat and Instagram, and there were people just trying out makeup and whatnot, and
eye
colors and whatnot. I'm actually working on that end as well. That I wanna add these things, take up official brands ke color shades and apply it on this.
Right.
So that it eventually becomes a thing.
Probably it can happen with bridal makeup also.
Everything. So basically क्या होता है, everything you work around has to work around a sample, a reference point. Everyone who will come down to, let's say, get groomed up will have a picture in their hand that I want a haircut. People have to realize that their hair texture, their skin tones, and their body structure, their face structure, it's different and it differs from person to person. So it's better if you try it out on on yourself, and that'll make much more sense, because you can see what it will look like. Actually,
absolutely. Because I've seen a lot of bridal makeups wo aise hote hain, it turns out, and it's I think one of the best selling models for any salon. तो सबसे ज़्यादा वो कमाई उससे रहे, and if the customer is not happy तो वो फिर becomes an off balance situation.
Honestly, accuracy is something that not every service business can offer. It's a bane that comes around with the service business. अगर आप restaurant जाते हो, you cannot guarantee that the food will taste the same every time. And and you can't do anything about it, because it is an art. Cooking is an art. Hair artists are artists after all. अब हर एक art, you can't tell an artist to replicate a piece of art, na? So you gotta be very, I would say not very, although you have to stick to your preferences and whatnot, but you gotta be flexible with things, but you gotta understand what it actually does, what you are opting for. And once you do that, you'll understand that every service-based business tries to do their best to catch up with what you want.
But service based business just like yours, मतलब एक बहुत बड़ा limitation होता है of scaling.
Because
is that something
it's
that you face with Sizzling Scissors also?
so again, I think through that corporate culture, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to standardize things.
Okay.
Standardize in a way कि चलो ठीक है, you know, there's a virtual stylist is there. We are also coming up with a few other technologies, and you know, a couple of things that reduce the amount of personalness to the thing.
Yeah.
Although I'm not saying कि आपका और artist का relation will not be there, because that has to be there. It's a loyalty based business. It's a trust based business. कि अगर let's say I get a shave done from someone, I'll go back to him.
100%.
And like it goes on for years and years.
Absolutely.
I've seen people going
My
down
mom,
to
ever since she got married here, there's this place Verma's.
हाँ.
So वो तब से लेकर आज तक वहीं जाती है. Like मतलब try something else. But
नहीं, वो
100%
satisfaction वहीं आएगा. And the best part is it's a mental satisfaction. Even if you tell the person कि I am much more trained, I am trained from there, doesn't matter. I am satisfied with this person, I'm going there.
I also, so I did this interview with Natasha also in Bangalore. So she gave out this very, you know, new, I think, information about salon business. She's like, a lot of people treat that as therapy. So therapeutic for people, and then that's how they select the salon and become, you know, like loyal to it. कि भाई सारी बातें इसको ही बताती है, so I'll just go vent, get a nice haircut or something and then come back.
See, it's like a human psychology thing, okay? अगर आप एक जगह 2-3 घंटे बैठते हो, you won't just sit. And the best part is जब भी वो cutting sheet लगते हैं ना, you can't use your phone naturally. अब वो 2-3 घंटे what will you do? As humans, we gotta talk it out. And it just became like a thing where it's a relationship between the artist and the client. And you know, there are artists who tell me कि यार this guy is coming around, वो मेरे को अपने आप personally call कर देता है and whatnot, and it became a thing कि I'm gonna come, I need to talk to you. There are times when their clients come and I need to talk to the artist, and then they start chilling around. Wow यार.
Welcome. बट हाँ, मतलब इससे सर्विस बिजनेस एक्सपेंशन में भी तो मतलब थोड़ा इशू आता ही होगा. लाइक व्हाट वी वर टॉकिंग अबाउट कि एक पर्सनलाइज्ड चीज देनी होती है अलोंग विद द कॉर्पोरेट.
Right. So certain protocols can, you know, standardize the things कि hire, how is your service delivery, या फिर आपका procedure क्या है of things. They kind of standardize the whole thing. बाकी there are different trainings and all that we go through with our artist, and every artist has to go through with it. So I feel there's a way to standardize things. ऐसा नहीं है कि 100% accuracy वही same चीज हर जगह होगी. No doubt. ऐसा नहीं we can claim. But then again, you know, at least the providing aspect of the whole service base, it does get standardized to an extent.
Yeah. Nice. So what are your plans with Sizzling now? I know that it's opening up in Dubai.
So Africa is one thing that's opened up, and Dubai like pretty soon, honestly. Like, we're expecting mid next year. And we've also actually started up franchising out the whole brand throughout India for now. In fact, North India only for now. We're being very selective with the things right now, and like I don't like, because of the whole standardized thing that I had a conversation about. I just want to keep it very selective, because that has to be the identity of the brand.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're getting into cosmetics as well. Please
so
share that experience with us.
So
I think the R&D and all will be.
So R&D is mostly done actually.
What is the process like?
It starts with, it's a long process, to be honest. it started with me just, looking over the ingredients of different brands and all. And so many D2C brands were coming down, and, everyone had this manufactured by, imported by, ye ingredients, aisa directions of use and whatnot. Everyone had a pattern to it. I was like, ye ingredients hai. I used to just, go through with it. And, to get into the whole crux of the things, I was like, ye ingredient, ye karta, ye ingredient, ye karta. And I started learning about it. Yeah. And although मैंने education नहीं ली उस end पे, so I wanted like a very professional opinion on it. So I went on to Turkey a couple of months back, and I had a conversation, like I had a good session with a couple of cosmetologists who helped me out with the ingredients and all. And now we're in the, I would say, packaging process of things ki हाँ यार इसको package कैसे करना है, how it has to be branded, and what can be different, how do I make it more attractive to look at, because I feel it's a commodity for people right now. If I don't have my face wash, I can't go outside anywhere. सब लोग अपना एक kit bag लेके carry करते हैं कि हाँ यार I have to have this, I have to have sunblock, मेरे ये नहीं है, where do I get it from, मेरे को यही वाला brand का चाहिए. So it has to be treated like a commodity कि हाँ यार this is a thing, and it has to be beautiful here. So I'm working on that aspect right now.
Okay, oh, sweet. I would love to explore more about your venture capitalist identity as well. So,
because of the sale that I made for my startup, now, being from a family that believes in investing more than, saving. My father's always been into that, and he's been into investing. I wouldn't say stocks and commodities. That was a long time ago. He still does it, but not to that extent. But he was like, there's a thing called the startup bubble right now, where you explore, different ideas. लोगों ने शेयर निकाल रखे, those companies are existing, but what is new around the market, only a startup can do that. Because a startup can experiment जितना एक running company नहीं कर सकते, because that takes a lot of time. So my father is my mentor, and he was like, you gotta explore what you can do with this money. अब naturally as a 19-year-old, the first thing I would say कि नहीं यार, I want a sports car, come on, I want a sports car. But I didn't do that, and luckily I didn't do that. I went on to explore the market of Scizzors. Because going from the party end, I was like, I need to see how, what these guys were selling for so much. Ki haan yaar, bahar to it comes down to like 50 rupees. What are these guys doing? Ki clubs ke andar 150 ka bikta hai, yahan pe itne ka bik raha hai. Why are there so many?
Which product are you?
Scizzor.
What's a Scizzor?
Scizzor is alcohol-induced drink, but not too much alcohol. Sometimes it's non-alcoholic as well. Okay. It's basically for the people who don't want to drink, but like the idea of socially drinking.
All right. Can you name some brands who are already doing
Scizzor. Scizzor is untapped in India right now.
Okay.
Like, although Schweppes and all have gotten into it like crazy at the moment, and बहुत सारे लोग existing companies are doing their R&Ds and all, but it's still untapped to an extent.
क्योंकि अभी तो काफी mixers and all are coming up.
अब वो mixers को eradicate करने के लिए, mixers are completely non-alcoholic, and mixers are meant to enhance the taste of some alcohol, white or dark alcohol जो होती है, कि you can add it to the gin, you can add it to the vodka and whatnot. Scizzor is a completely different thing, because Scizzor को आप directly भी ले सकते हो.
Okay.
And I think my first thing that I did was I got in conversation with the Scizzor brand बहुत randomly. Okay. I met this guy at in Delhi, and he was like, I have this idea, and this is the product, I have it in my hand right now, and I would like to like you to try. And the conversation wasn't on the end of you are investing. It was on the end that I wanted to try my product. I think that's the first thing that sold me off, because I have to believe in the product to invest in it.
Yeah.
And I tried it, and the taste was immaculate. I loved the taste.
Especially the fact that you said that you've quit drinking.
So
I think you're the right target.
Exactly.
Market also for him.
And the seltzer thing just, I just went ahead with it. And although I exited from it pretty early, I'm working with a friend right now.
Okay.
On the same ends. He's into crafting beers, but mostly flavored beers. Beers for the people who don't like the taste of beers, basically. So he has made, in fact, we have named our beer Himalayan, because my name is Ayan, his name is Hima. So Himalayan. And it's a crazy aspect we are working on. He has already started his thing. We've tried the products and all. We're in the, I would say, market acceptance stage, where he is on his end just getting the acceptance in the Jaipur market. But what I want to do is commercialize it. So we've had a discussion about putting up a proper brewery, not a microbrewery, a proper brewery, and getting it out there to the people in bottles.
Okay.
So right now we're working on that.
Oh, nice.
And I do still love the idea of self-care and grooming and whatnot. So I'm working with a couple of people who are also, on the verge of venturing out into different things. So they're like, we want a partner to be included. And since I want to get into the cosmetics industry so much, so I'm going to invest in those as well.
Okay. I think it's a lot of people would want to dilute and bring a partner in or get investment.
See,
but there's a fear around it.
So what happens is, one man show jo hota hai, that is usually considered a good thing. I feel no. It's always teamwork. You can't expect a single person to do everything in your life.
Yeah.
कि ये marketing भी संभालेगा, he'll look at the accounts as well, groundwork भी कर लेगा, R&D भी कर लेगा. How, एक person की capacity होती है. You can't just expect the single person to do it. Every single, I would say, the greats had a partner with them. Apple had a partner. Although Steve Jobs is known for Apple, but Steve Jobs had a partner with him called Steve Wozniak. So it has to be there that you're gonna have a person around, at least a single person around, who manages the other aspects, or maybe you get into the product end of things, he gets into the business end of things. So,
but I think people also fear the ugliness of having someone else, and then if in the future, if it doesn't work out, and it gets very ugly. And
see, business is a risk. If the person has gotten onto the end of starting a business, this is also a type of risk I feel should be considered, that it's worth it. Because eventually scale करने के लिए you need to have a team.
Yeah.
And as I said, one man show ठीक है, works to an extent.
Yeah. Then scaling is an issue.
Scaling is an issue then.
मतलब I think हमारे से पहली जनरेशन को काफी सारे ऐसे loyal employees मिल जाते थे जिनके साथ वो easily scale कर पाते थे.
My father has been working with this person for last, I would say, 25 years. He's still in the, and we consider him family. Come down to the house and चलो dinner करते साथ में. I call him भैया and whatnot. Like
but अब वो option I think नहीं है. A lot of people want their share and they understand how businesses work. They're not just happy with the salary that you give them. To be invested in a business, they need that share as well.
See, it's a fast moving generation, na? So everyone wants growth.
Yeah.
And I think हमारे से पिछली generation के पास ज़्यादा patience की पावर थी. Right now, social media and everything has hyped up the things like crazy. कि हाँ यार, you have to be a millionaire by 22 and you have to be a billionaire by 30 and whatnot. So everyone's on that end कि मेरे पास share क्यों नहीं है, मेरे पास पैसे क्यों नहीं आ रहे. You have to understand that वो, making money is the fruit. But you gotta understand कि वो fruit अपने आप आएगा. You can't keep chasing it. It's the thing that you gotta develop yourself in a way, and that is the real prize.
Yeah.
कि what what if I develop myself, I better
learn
myself,
a skill
हाँ,
set or you know, I think make yourself better again.
हाँ, 1% of, you know, getting better every day, it's just, you know, 100 days में you're 100 times better, come on. But people don't want to wait for 100 days for some reason कि नहीं मेरे को अभी result चाहिए, but work for it ना.
Yeah.
You can't really, you don't have shortcuts to hard work, come on. चाहे कितने भी funds ले आओ, like a lot of people get in funds, but then you can't just bypass things कि हाँ मेरा revenue होता है, but is it a profit making thing?
Yeah.
Or is it just another bubble कि वो बनाते जाएगा, revenue बढ़ते जाएगा, but losses में ही रहेगा?
हाँ.
Then you eventually dilute the company, sell it off.
Yeah.
Doesn't work like that. Long term, you gotta understand long term is a thing and has to be a thing.
When it comes to valuation, how does that work? जैसे आप the cost that you were saying,
Yeah.
you know, you valuated at that point of time your app. वो valuation actually होता कैसे है? And how do people like buy it or venture capitalists invest?
Right. See, mainly it's the longevity that is looked at. कि इसको कितना scale कर सकते हो? Will people come down to going on the app or what not? Mostly there are two stages to it. जब भी कोई investment होता है, there's pre-revenue and there's after, when the company is running basically. ये दो stages होते हैं. Pre-revenue is basically when the company hasn't started even.
Okay.
The
Seed
product,
funding.
हाँ, seed funding is what we call it. And pre-revenue में ये होता है, the concept isn't proven, market acceptance isn't proven, so it's a higher risk. तो यूजुअली जब आप प्री रेवेन्यू करते हो या फिर फंड्स उठाते हो, यू गोटा गिव आउट मोर शेयर बिकॉज इट्स एन इक्वल रिस्क फॉर द इन्वेस्टर एज वेल, बिकॉज दैट कॉन्सेप्ट इजंट प्रूवन, वी डोंट नो इफ इट वर्क्स और नॉट. मैं कितना भी कह दूं कि मेरा प्रोडक्ट इतना अच्छा, व्हाट इफ पीपल डोंट एक्सेप्ट इट, एंड इट इज सो लाइक अनप्रेडिक्टेबल टू एन एंड कि लोग कहें कि हाँ यार माई प्रोडक्ट इज द बेस्ट इन द वर्ल्ड, बट फिर भी लोग एक्सेप्ट नहीं करते. सो वी नेवर नो. एंड देन रनिंग कंपनीज के अंदर क्या होता है, इट्स अ प्रूवन कॉन्सेप्ट, दैट्स द रीजन इट्स रनिंग. एंड रनिंग के टाइम पे क्या होता है, थिंग्स लाइक लेट्स से इट्स फॉर एन ऐप और अ वेबसाइट, कितना ट्रैफिक आ रहा है, इज दैट ट्रैफिक गेटिंग कन्वर्टेड और नॉट? अगर कन्वर्ट नहीं हो रहा है, क्यों हो रहा है? कैन आई ब्रिंग इन एन आइडिया एज एन इन्वेस्टर दैट चेंजेस दैट कन्वर्जन रेशियो और नॉट? एंड मोस्टली इट्स लुक्ड ऑनलाइन वेबसाइट्स एंड एप्स में तो यही देखा जाता है कि हाँ यार, इज इट like our people, हाँ basically, but
मतलब उसके बावजूद भी जैसे एसेट से एक चीज हो गई कि ऑलरेडी कितना रेवेन्यू बना रही है, पैसा ऑलरेडी कितना आ रहा है, एसेट कितनी है कंपनी के पास, वो एक मतलब आई थिंक दैट्स मोर डायरेक्ट. बाकी देयर आर इनडायरेक्ट कॉस्ट्स फॉर अ बिजनेस आल्सो, मतलब जो आई एम नॉट श्योर इफ आई एम यूजिंग द राइट कीवर्ड्स हियर, बट एक कॉन्सेप्ट का भी पैसा होता है. हाँ. एक यू नो द फाउंडर ने कितना टाइम लगाया, सो वो चीज कैसे कैलकुलेट होती है, विच कैन बी एनीथिंग.
सी, टू बी वेरी ऑनेस्ट अबाउट थिंग्स, एक इन्वेस्टर मेजरली ये देखेगा कि मेरे को कितना पैसा बना सकता है. वेरी, इट्स अ वेरी ऑनेस्ट एंड अ ब्लंट थिंग आई एम गोना से, बिकॉज एक इन्वेस्टर आपके साथ इन्वेस्ट सिर्फ दो पोजीशन पे करेगा, इफ इट मेक्स मनी और द पर्सन रिलेट्स टू योर प्रोडक्ट. व्हेन द रिलेशन ऑफ द प्रोडक्ट एंड कम्स इन, तब इट्स लाइक द पर्सन विल इन्वेस्ट इन द आइडिया मोर, एंड वो आइडिया के हिसाब से वैल्यूएशन ज्यादा कैलकुलेट करेगा. बट on the revenue end, it's more about कि हाँ यार, this company will make let's say this much in 3 years. अगर मैं इसको इतना और इन्वेस्ट करता हूँ तो मैं ये टूल्स यूज करके इसको इस लेवल पे ले जाऊंगा. Then it's completely financial. It's an open end, honestly. There are people who have evaluated their businesses like crazy even when the concept hasn't been proven. So it's an open end. You can't really put a price on an idea. It's a thing that you can't put a price on an idea. Like again, it's artwork. तो एक art की क्या price लगाओगे?
True. Somebody would relate more with it, and
हाँ,
किसी के लिए वो बिल्कुल भी काम का नहीं होगा.
So there's like a story around ना कि हाँ यार, this father gave like an old Rolex or something to his son, and asks his son ki yaar, go to the pawn shop, and the pawn shop is like, I'll give you $10 for it. Then this guy is told ki yaar, go to the museum. The museum's like, it's a pretty old piece, we'll give you $600,000 for it. So it's about getting to the right person कि वो वैल्यू आपकी, इट्स लाइक एवरी पर्सन, हर एक पर्सन की वैल्यू भी अलग अलग जगह अलग अलग होगी. सो
व्हाट इज द राइट वे ऑफ, मतलब जैसे आप कह रहे हो राइट बंदा ढूंढना भी इम्पोर्टेंट है,
right.
सो मतलब नॉट अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल हैव, एक तो इतने सारे आई थिंक ग्रुप्स हैं ऑफ वेंचर कैपिटल, फाइंडिंग द राइट वन वो कैसे होगी, यू आर मेकिंग द राइट पिच टू द राइट.
Yeah, I feel networking is essential because if you want a person to believe in your idea, you got to be able to present your idea in the right way. So, you know, that's the reason we say ki haan, get into this group of people, you know, communicate and, you know, talk about ideas. What if a person adds on to your idea? You got to meet a lot of people. And you never know the person kahan se reach out kar lega, through and through kabhi yaar. I think the best
way. How did your thing like happen?
It was a random call. Like it came through a person. Obviously, this person, a friend of mine, just told the guy ki, you know, I have a friend who's working on something like this, and you know, it's working out like crazy. So it's like I wanted to get in this industry. I'm freshly back from the US, and I want to do it. So fair.
और उसका price कैसे decide हुआ था?
So it was like मेरा जो ऐप का ट्रैफिक था ना, एंड इनफैक्ट आई हैड एड्स ऑन द होल ऐप कि, यू नो,
बैकलिंकिंग,
हाँ, बैकलिंकिंग प्लस यू नो, क्लब्स कुड पे अराउंड एंड बी लाइक कि आई वांट माय नेम टू बी प्रायोरिटाइज्ड ऑन द होल थिंग, कि मेरी टेबल इतने की बिक रही है, इट हैज टू बी फर्स्ट.
ओके.
So that's where the clubs used to pay around, and I think that was the major revenue scene because मैं सिर्फ transaction fee से कोई बहुत अच्छा amount नहीं कर सकता था. The major thing was the ads that went around with the whole thing. So the amount of ad revenue plus कितने लोग उस ad को watch कर रहे हैं, क्या traffic कितना है, because of the traffic ad revenue बहुत होता था, even if the conversion wasn't there. So that's where the valuation came in, and उसमें भी what we did कि एक साल में इतना करा है, if we do this then इतना पे lead करेगा. I think 3-year revenue is the price that I should pay. That's how we calculated at that time.
Okay, sounds smart.
And then there are negotiations कि नहीं 3-year नहीं होना चाहिए, 4-year होना चाहिए, and what not, went back and forth. Within a month we closed it down.
What are the tips that you can give businesses जो मतलब जैसे उस end पे होंगे, they have the right product but they don't undersell themselves?
I think it's again related to a service based thing, na? So the word of mouth scenario has to be on point, and to do that your service has to go bonkers with their providing part of the service. So because, you know, at the end people will pay if they like the whole thing. Like if they like the ease of use or maybe the process of it. Because I'm sure there are hundreds of more apps who would sell tables or whatnot. There are hundreds of websites who sell tickets and बहुत कुछ है. But the ease of the thing and the addition of that new concept कि हाँ यार you can touch, that was the major factor. So A, have a USP. I think that has to be a thing. Even if it's a boring business, make it interesting.
Right.
B, I would say, you know, make it make it an easy thing for the customer. End consumer को बहुत easy feel होना चाहिए कि it's very convenient कि I go on the app, tuck done. जितना easy होगा उतना consumer attract होगा. I think these 2 points are the major points for a business on this end.
Okay, nice. Anything else you would want to discuss before we close this?
I just think, you know, I'll sign off on the note where, you know, there are no limits to anything. Sky is the limit. No, it's not. Come on. So stop keeping your ideas to yourself is what I would say. Because a lot of people think that it's a stupid idea. Don't put it out there. किससे discuss करें? No. come on, it has to be bonkers to work out.
Yeah.
You have to be a little crazy for things to work out, to be honest. So if somebody calls you crazy, you're good. Go with it.
Yeah.
Like, carry it out like a mantle. Hi, yaar, I am crazy, come on. I think that's about it.
Yeah. People who, I think, build businesses and build wealth, they are crazy.
So, you have to be that crazy to believe in something that isn't already working.
Yeah.
It's like, कुछ भी चालू करोगे ना, especially right now, the amount of people who will tell you otherwise कि it won't work is insane, and you have to be crazy enough कि नहीं यार चलेगा, मैं तो कह रहा हूँ चलेगा.
और नहीं भी चलेगा तो I can take the back hit and I'm learning something out of it.
So again, it's about the journey ना. अगर even if it doesn't work out, at least you came up with a thing कि उसको execute किया, you met a lot of people to get it executed. You'll probably use that knowledge on the next thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Ayan.
Thank you so much.
It was lovely meeting you, and I absolutely love the off-camera talk that we had. So much fun. I hope to see you soon. I have so many more questions, but I can't compile it in a podcast. So I'm sure we'll meet again.
Definitely.
Discuss all of that. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Bye, guys. See you in the next
Bye.
episode. I hope you guys loved the episode as much as I did. I mentioned a couple of episodes here like Natasha's and Riddhi's. I'm attaching the link right here for you guys to watch it. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.